CBC over here. We're kind of on a roll. We've started every meeting on time since October. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Happy New Year to everybody. And they say this was the coldest day on record for Lawton, Oklahoma. Wow. With that said, I'd like to go on ahead and call upon our acting secretary treasurer, Mr. Clyde Narcomi, for a roll call.
William Nelson Sr., Chairman.
Here, sir.
Susan Cochran, Vice Chairman.
Here.
Jonathan Poway, Committeeman number 1.
Here.
Eddie Odyssey, Committeeman number 2.
Here.
Harry Mathlow, Committeeman number 3.
Here.
Clyde Narcomi, Committeeman number 4. Here.
Today, I would hope that Mr. Poway, if you can give us an invocation. We've got a lot of folks in mourn. We're starting a new year, a bright year. We've got a lot of folks in the hospital. Susan's got folks in the hospital. I got my brother Van in the hospital, if y'all know him. Some folks are having some hard times. And I'm just asking for Jonathan, if you could render up a prayer to Ta'af, I'd appreciate it, sir.
Bow our heads. But let me sit tight. Not only Jesus. Jesus. Thank you, dear Lord, for all you've done for each and every one here. We pray that you'll continue to watch over our nation as a whole and be with our leaders as we try to bring prosperity to our nation and progress. Not only Jesus. We thank you, dear Lord, for all the snow, and thank you, dear Lord, and we pray that you'll be with all those that are in the hospitals, all those that are in mourning. You know, it's a hard time. Any time's a hard time to lose somebody, but especially during the holidays. And we thank you, dear Lord, and pray that you'll be with everyone today and grant traveling mercies on this snow, and pray that you'll just be with all the children, all the people, the elders that have no one to watch out for them. Not only Jesus, comfort and strengthen them. And we pray and ask all these things in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Johnny. Business Committee, we had 2 items that were late to come forward. One deals with our bank account, and we did make sure, since we're off high risk, to set up each account on an individual basis. A good recommendation from the forensic audit, and also from our audit, and also from our accounting outsource. So I'd like to amend to add 08-17. And I'd like to amend the agenda still further to add 01-07-08. If I could, Business Committee, this is the question to a motion. If I could get somebody to make that motion.
I make a motion to put resolution 0107-08 on the agenda.
Motion has been made by the Vice Chair. That is the question to this motion, to add this to the agenda. I do need a second.
I second it, Mr. Chairman.
Seconded by Business Committee member Narcomi. Business Committee, if you do accept this, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed to this question, same sign. All right, we are adding that to the agenda. I'd like to make a roll call on who's here. New and old business, Susan Parker. Thomas Narcomi. Executive session, Kobe Lewis.
We won't be here.
Not here?
No.
Okay. Mr. Jerry Mullen. Mr. Dennis Wamavoya. And Thomas and Jean? Are y'all collectively together here for executive session? Okay. Okay, you want to say here? All right, that'll be executive session. Business committee, we're going to move forward in this agenda. Yes? You were?
Yes, sir.
And who did
Last
you?
month, I talked to the assistant, and we decided to push it to January instead of December.
And what is this pertaining to?
All business from 2015.
And what was that?
Well, it was for executive session, and he said that I could go in
Okay.
January.
When we go through the adoption of our old minutes, we'll look for you in there and see what that pertains to, then I'll call for that, okay?
Okay.
All right. Could I have our attorney come forward, please?
Yes.
While he's looking over that, if I could have us look over our new and old business. I'm glad we are finishing up business and not continuing on. So if I could, if everybody could, look at your minutes. And Mr. Atopney, you were here the December meeting, right? Okay. We'll look over these minutes and then we'll entertain a question to accept those. Ashley, are you here?
No, she's not going to be here.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you are. Business committee, I guess Mr. Tishakai was not put on here. We had talked about that, about this young man that is an employee at Red River.
Star.
Is it Star?
I thought he was there.
Star? Okay, over there, Star. We will put you on there, sir. Okay. I'm going over the oratory expression you made at the December meeting. Do you have something to add to that?
That was separate from what I wanted to talk about in executive session, but I would like to go to council today.
Okay,
In a public forum.
on public forum.
Yes, sir. Will you open the floor?
Well, we do have one, too, that did put it on there. You weren't put on this.
Yeah, I had talked to Ashley. Could you have me talk to
Do
Ashley?
you mind to come into our executive session and tell us what you need?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Yeah, Mr. Nelson,
yes,
he's in the minutes here.
yes,
Where you
okay,
requested.
very good. All right, Business Committee, I know you guys have read this. We've had this for 5 days. I just forgot about this part. I'd like to call for the question to accept these minutes, if somebody would make a motion to that fact.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
make a motion to approve the minutes from
Motion.
December
okay.
3rd.
All right. Motion was made by Business Committee Narcomi to accept the minutes of December 3rd, 2016. I would like to have a second to confirm that motion.
I second.
And seconded by Mr. Eddie Odyssey. Business Committee, to accept these minutes, could I get people to signify by saying aye if you want to do that?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign? All right, we accepted those. We are going on to our agenda. Make sure we got everything on here. All right. Pertaining to enrollment, we're going to resolution number 0117. Be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee accept the verification of eligibility for the applicants as shown on list 1047. Be it further resolved that the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office notify the eligible applicant by letter of their approved membership, and further that the enrolled member be provided information concerning their enrollment, including name, date of birth, roll number, social security number, and degree of Comanche blood. This foregoing resolution adopted this day, and we have 20. Thank you, Clyde. 20 new members to add. Business Committee, I entertain a motion that we accept these new members to our Comanche Nation.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like a motion to approve Resolution 01-17.
Motion made by Business Committee member Clyde Narcomi. To continue this motion, I do need a second.
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Mr. Harry Mithalo. Business Committee, the due diligence has been done on this. All those in favor for resolution number 0117, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Our new members include William Bradley, Nazareth DeBartolo, Nolan DeBartolo, Samantha Dunham, Vincent Hagenmiller, Ariel Hoyt, Walter Lusk, Twyla McLaughlin, Austin Morgan, Hunter Morgan, Victoria Morgan, Cam Banah, Sarah Phillips, Landry Pofabitty, Clarence Ransom, Decker Swanson, Samantha Tokoti, Alistair Tinker, Devini Tinker, and Kason Turney. 20 new members to our Comanche Nation.
Mr. Chairman, just a short note to let everybody know That 15 out of the 20 are 1/8. 15 out of 20 were 1/8. Just a note for everybody.
Moving forward, resolution number 0217. Be it resolved that each applicant named on the attached list number 1048 is determined to be ineligible for membership with the Comanche Nation. Be it further resolved that each applicant on list number 1048 be officially notified of the rejection for membership, stating the reason for such determination and including the appropriate appeals provisions. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 did not make the blood quantum degree. Business Committee, I do entertain the question to this motion to accept those that were not eligible of resolution number 0217.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve Resolution 0217.
Motion made by Clyde Narcomi. To move this forward, I do need a second for us to go to a vote.
I second the motion.
Seconded by Business Committee Mithalo. Business Committee to accept resolution number 0217. I do call, I got one question here. Rick, can I see you for a second? That's less than. Okay, thank you. Business Committee to pass this resolution, I am calling upon y'all to accept this by signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. It's just the way this fractionated was. It almost looked like more than an eighth, but it's not. All right. Moving forward to resolution number 0317. The documentary evidence on file with the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office and information furnished by each applicant named on list number 1049 does not descend from a Comanche allottee, as provided by Article 3, Section 1B of our Constitution. Therefore, be it resolved that each applicant named on the attached list, number 1049, is determined to be ineligible for membership with the Comanche Nation because he or she does not meet the nation's constitutional membership requirements. Be it further resolved that each applicant on list number 1049 be officially notified of the rejection for membership, stating the reason for such determination and including the appropriate appeals provision. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Business Committee, to further this question on, I do need a motion to continue on list number 1049.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 0317.
Motion has been made. I do need a second to continue this,
I second the motion, Chairman.
and seconded by Business Committee member Mithalo. Business Committee to accept this resolution number 0317, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All those abstain, same sign. Okay, resolution number 1049 did pass. The list includes the names of applicants. In this resolution, we're moving to number 0417. The list includes the names of applicants who have been verified as ineligible pursuant to Article 3, Section 4 of our Constitution. Notwithstanding the provisions of Section 3 of this article, any person who meets the eligibility criteria in Section 1 of this article, who as a minor accepted a material or monetary benefit as a member of another tribe or whose legal guardians accepted a material or monetary benefit as a member of another Indian tribe while the person was a minor. Comanche Nation shall have the option of relinquishing their membership in the other tribe and becoming a member of the Comanche Nation, not later than 1 year after they become an adult, as defined by this Constitution, which is 18 years old to 19 years old. Whereas the list presented contains applicants who have applied for membership with the Comanche Nation after the 1 year period as defined by the Constitution of the Comanche Nation. We do have, therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee accept the verification of ineligibility for the applicants as shown on list 1050 by the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office. Business Committee, it is very clear what is written here on this one applicant. I call for the question on this motion to move forward of list number 1050, resolution number 0417.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve 0417.
Okay. To move forward on this motion, I do need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Seconded by Vice Chair Susan Cawthron. Business Committee to accept resolution number 0417. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All those abstain, same sign. Resolution number 0417 does pass. The Office of Special Trustee, ever since the Cobell Act, the Office of Special Trustee they have been burdened to give the Comanche Nation and all other 562 nations and tribes a better deal. And they're on point on everything they do with tribes now. And what we have here is resolution number 0517. The Comanche Constitution establishes the CBC as the duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation. And whereas the Office of the Special Trustee requires signatories on investment accounts. Now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby designates the following authorized signatories: William Nelson Sr., Chairman; Susan Cawthron, Vice Chairperson; Jonathan Poway, Committeeman number 1; Eddie Odyssey, Committeeman number 2; Harry Mithelo, Committeeman number 3; Clyde Narcomi, Committeeman number 4. Business Committee, resolution number 0517, is tasked to make sure that anything that goes to the OST, the Special Trustee, is approved. And I'm calling for a motion to accept resolution number 0517.
I'll make a motion we accept resolution 05-17.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
And motion was made and seconded. Business Committee to approve resolution number 0517, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed to this resolution, same sign. All those abstain, same sign. Resolution number 0517 does pass. And I trust the Business Committee, we do print our name, we will sign, we will put this in. And I do have a meeting with the OST to go over what we are talking about in realty on patents of lands of old. Moving forward. Resolution number 0617. It's a grant application to U.S. Department of Justice Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation, CTAS. The Comanche Nation sees a critical need to develop the infrastructure systems needed to successfully expand the existing Comanche Nation Children's Court into a full and complete tribal court to ensure the efficient and fair administration of justice, resolve conflicts and disputes, enforce tribal laws, strengthen our tribal sovereignty, and assume tribal jurisdiction over tribal lands. And whereas the United States Department of Justice through fiscal year 2017 Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation, which is CTAS, has funds available of $1 million for over a 36-month period to accomplish this purpose. And whereas the tribal chairman or his designee is the official representative of the Comanche Nation and is authorized to negotiate and approve contracts and any amendments to such. Therefore, be it resolved that the CBC does hereby approve the submission of this grant application to the United States Department of Justice, the Coordinated Tribal Assisted Solicitation, CTAS. Be it further resolved, the Business Committee, acting for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation, does hereby authorize this resolution for such intent. Business Committee, Resolution Number 0617. I am calling for the motion on this question to accept this resolution.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 0617.
Motion has been made to this question to move further on resolution number 0617.
I second it.
It is seconded by Business Committee member Mr. Poway. Business Committee, a very important resolution. I call for this question by signifying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. All those abstain, same sign. Resolution number 0617 has passed. Folks, we are codifying our tribal court. We are tasked to get this done. Our people have voted on this for 7 years straight. Now we have moved forward. With this $1 million, that does help a lot. So I applaud the efforts of Mr. Jimmy Atterbury and those involved. We can't continually be drug into a court that we don't even recognize as a tribe. Wow. Moving forward, resolution number 0717. This is for NAGPRA grant application to the U.S. Department of Interior National Park Service. The Business Committee deems that a project-based NAGPRA grant will enhance the efforts of the Comanche Nation NAGPRA program to identify, record, consult, repatriate, and preserve cultural remains of the Comanche Nation by providing assistance to the continuation of repatriation-related activities. The United States Department of Interior National Park Service has funds available from $5,000 to a maximum of $90,000. And the tribal chairman or his designee is the official representative of the Comanche Nation and is authorized to negotiate and approve contracts and any amendments to such. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby authorize and support fiscal year 2016 NAGPRA grant application to the U.S. Department of Interior National Park Service for implementation. Jimmy, is this a flow-through grant?
Yes, our actor director's here to answer the questions we have on it.
Okay. I think we're in line for $90,000, aren't we?
We're trying to get there.
You
We have
bet.
to get the supporting documents for it still. We're just meaning that the museums have to give us letters of support that we give with our grant, showing that they're going to do consultation with us. And once we get those, then we'll know the dollar amounts and everything to it. So it'll be anywhere between the 5,000 to 90, but it's up there.
Thank you, Dad. Business Committee, to further this question on, I do call for a motion on resolution number 0717.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
I have a
sir.
question on this.
Sure.
Said the Business Committee hereby authorized and support the fiscal year 2016. Is that, since it's 217?
On this,
217, is that a mistake, or?
Jimmy, do you got that in front of you?
It should be 2017.
Okay.
Typo.
Just a quick vote on this. We will strike fiscal year 2016, thank you, Clyde, to fiscal year 2017. I'll re-entertain the motion. I'll re-entertain the motion of resolution number 0717, and to be stricken is fiscal year 2016, to be added fiscal year 2017. And I do call for this motion to accept that strike-through.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion has been made on to accept resolution number 0717.
I
I do
second the
need a
motion.
second to continue.
I second the motion.
Is that you, Harry? Okay.
Yes.
Seconded by Harry. Business Committee, Mithalo. Business Committee to move forward on this and approve resolution number 0717, signify by saying aye.
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 All those in disagreement to this signify by the same sign. Resolution number 0717 did pass. We have a resolution here to continue the good work of staying off high risk and allowing us to go after grants, which should be a great flow through before. We did not have that. And this resolution is to authorize Finley and Cook to go on ahead to eCorp online banking on behalf of the nation. So when we do get our federal monies, it goes directly to the bank. This is resolution number 0817. The Business Committee desires to allow Finley and Cook, PLLC, permission to use the eCorp online banking feature at Liberty National Bank for routine banking activities authorized by the tribe. And these routine banking activities would include issuing stop payments, initiating wire transfers from properly executed payment requests, and any other instructions from authorized representatives of the tribe or CBC. Now therefore be it resolved that Comanche Business Committee hereby authorize Finley and Cook to obtain access to Liberty Nations Bank's eCorp online banking feature for the following accounts: BIA funds, BIA law enforcement, BIA JP&T, BIA adult education, BIA wildland fire, BIA social services, BIA higher education, BIA aid to tribal government, BIA Indian child welfare, and the Children's Court. Business Committee to move forward on this. I need a motion to continue.
Chairman, I make a motion to accept this resolution, 0817.
Thank you, Mr. Mithalo. With that motion made, I do need a second to continue,
I'll second it.
and seconded by Vice Chair Cothran. Business Committee to do this great, continual great work, do signify by saying aye to accept resolution number 0817.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All those abstain, same sign. Resolution number 0817 does pass. Uh-oh.
I'll have to call you back. I'm at a meeting.
After reading this,
Okay.
our tribal council hired
All
attorney.
right, bye.
Okay. Next week, for folks watching abroad and everybody here, next week, members of the FBI, forensic auditors, and Internal Revenue Service, IRS, will be on their last stages of evidence for cases that are ongoing and new cases being opened. Legal depositions are being held next week in lieu of any grand jury subpoena. From the evidence I have seen, today is that day that we have to adopt resolute law to keep this type of activity from ever coming back to our great nation. No one is above the law. No one. No one is above the Comanche people. No one. To this audience, if the New Year tone is to be set this year, it starts right now. If we have people in this audience here to cause disrepute, causes strife, and disturbs this business meeting, you will be removed. And this goes for the entire 2017 year. You will be issued a federal citation. We have to have order, and we have to have law. We will be a responsible government. We will be a legal government. And the good business starts now. If you believe that, please clap with me. With that said, this is a very long resolution. And I had just mentioned the evidence I saw. I was not here. Most of the people on this table were not here. But this is resolution number 010708. The Comanche Nation is a federally recognized Indian tribe with a constitution. It was approved by the Secretary of the Interior on January 9th, 1967. We are here to safeguard tribal rights, powers, and privileges to improve the economic, moral, educational, and health status of its members. And the tradition of our sovereignty since time immemorial long predates the existence of the nation. It establishes the inherent sovereign powers and rights of the Comanche self-government. And the Comanche Business Committee is a duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee does agree with suits against the tribe under the Indian Civil Rights Act, which is ICRA or ICRA, was barred by the tribe's sovereign immunity from suit. Since nothing on the face of the Indian Civil Rights Act, ICRA, purports to subject tribes to the jurisdiction of federal courts, and especially one we don't recognize, in civil actions for declaratory or injunctive relief, and this comes straight from the great case of Santa Clara Pueblo, Supra, 43-6, U.S. 49. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee does agree with, Indian tribes are distinct, independent, political communities, retaining their original natural rights in matters of local self-government. Although no longer possessed of the full attributes of sovereignty, they remain a separate people with the power of regulating their internal and social relations. They have the power to make their own substantive law in order for internal matters and to enforce that law in their own forum of common good. Once again, the case that was drawn out for 10 years, Santa Clara Pueblo, 436 U.S. 49. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee does by solemn oath reaffirms their duty to promulgate and enforce ordinances and codes governing law in order to protect the peace, health, safety, and general welfare on land determined to be within Comanche tribal jurisdiction. The Business Committee seated today does introduce the WMB Act of 2017 for adoption and acceptance. I turned to the attorney. We went to another name, the Accountability Act.
There you go.
Therefore be it, this motion, the Accountability Act of 2017, if any elected Comanche Nation Business Committee member, employee, or appointee, past or present, from this date of January 7th, 2017, knowingly, 1, overspent a tribal council budget line item without a proper resolution. 2, moved a tribal council budget line item without a proper resolution. 3, borrowed from a tribal council budget line item without tribal council consent. 4, used a tribal council budget line item for collateral without tribal council consent. 5, removed any Comanche Nation member on the established membership roll. 6, added any Comanche Nation member without following Constitution Article 3, membership in all of its policy. 7, ignored or impedes a direct order of the voting supreme power of the tribal council. 8, filed lawsuit on the Comanche Nation for personal monetary gain. 9, assisted and helps non-Comanche Nation members that file lawsuit on the nation. 10, have defaulted on loans, charge accounts, mortgages, payroll advances, or drawdowns from the Comanche Nation. 11, is under investigation for misappropriation, fraud, kickbacks, theft, perjury, and any other investigated crimes against the Comanche Nation government and all other entities. 12, have signed sole source contracts without business committee legal quorum documented approval, be it memorandum or appropriate resolution in open meeting. These 12 acts will be promulgated as the Accountability Act of 2017. The severity of the Accountability Act cannot, should not, and will not be tolerated. The adopted penalty for the Accountability Act of 2017 not followed is as follows. A, you cannot be nominated for any elected office for 10 years. B, you cannot be employed by any Comanche Nation entity for 10 years. C, you cannot be appointed to any Comanche Nation entity for 10 years. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby adopts and promulgates immediately the Accountability Act of 2017. May all ordinances, policies, and all governing laws pertaining to the Comanche Nation include the Accountability Act of 2017 for lawful reference. So be it. Business Committee, this has been long overdue. And I do call for that motion to bring forward the Accountability Act of 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
let me make sure I got this, the resolution number right. 01, 07,
08.
08.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve 01, 07, 08.
Motion to the question has been made to further this act, the Accountability Act of 2017. I need a second to continue.
I'll second that motion.
Seconded by our Vice Chair, Ms. Susan Cothran. Business Committee, I am going to go by a roll call vote. Mr. Clyde Narcomi, could you please do that for us, sir?
Vice Chairman Susan Cochran.
Yes.
Committeeman number 1, Jonathan Poway.
Yes.
Committeeman number 2, Eddie Odyssey.
Yes.
Committeeman number 3, Harry Mathalo.
No.
Committeeman number 4, Clyde Narcomi. Yes. And just one statement before we'll go any further. Anybody that is against this, they're corrupt. Anybody that's against it is corrupt. Thank you.
Resolution number 0107, the question has been made. It has been seconded. Business Committee, it has a roll call vote, a unanimous decision. Resolution number 010708, the adoption of the Accountability Act of the Comanche Nation of 2017 has been passed.
Hallelujah.
May this act hold forward for anybody that becomes a chairman, an elected official, an appointed official, and an employee. We have to just do better business. With that said, we have done our business. We will go to new and old business, but I'm going to entertain a question on the floor. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Did you state in there that if any official or appointed official has knowledge of corruption and does nothing, that that official can suffer the same repercussions?
It speaks of it. It does.
It does?
There is a Whistleblowers Act. There is also the Tribal Corruption Act. There is also the Hotline for Tribal Corruption. They all coincide with the Whistleblowers Act, sir. It does.
And are there phone numbers to these hotlines or?
Yeah, dang, I used to, what
I don't
was
have
it?
it.
888 Tribal,
Mr. Griffin may have it,
888, get,
or
well, ask Vern.
I don't have them on my head right now, but we'll find them.
Okay. Miss Susan Parker Whitewolf, you have the floor, ma'am.
I, Susan Parker, submit a letter of grievance for the record as follows.
Because Susan has a problem with her eyesight, she asked me to read it for her. And so, I, Susan Parker, submit a letter of grievance for the record as follows. Accountability is lacking regarding all tribal vehicles that include cars transferred or sold to the Comanche Nation Housing Authority that were involved in the recent fire. Also in question are cars given to the Comanche Nation Children's Shelter, cars given to the Comanche Nation Women's Shelter, and the car given to William Nelson.
Can I stop right there?
No accountability.
Can I stop you right there, ma'am? There's no car given to William Nelson.
Well, I need to finish before she's got time for questions and answers.
Okay, well, that's a direct
Well,
question.
Let me finish and then she
Well, I'm
can.
giving you a direct answer.
I thought we were gonna have
You're
order
good,
here.
you're good.
No accountability of whether or not all these cars were insured. No accountability of all cars issued to any other department or entity of the Comanche Nation. Then on item 2, the recent terminations of the entire staff of the Comanche Nation Housing Improvement Program and the entire staff of the Comanche Nation Tax Commission are seen as unnecessary, unfair, unjust, especially right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. The terminations lack compassion and understanding and caused extreme hardship for tribal members and their families. The suspension of the election board has gone on unresolved for far too long. At the annual meeting held on April 16, 2005, the Tribal Council adopted a proposal to impanel election board members by popular vote of each district and fully adopted as law by Resolution Number 5305. Under Resolution 5305, the election board shall remain a subordinate body under the direction of the CBC, but Resolution 5305 does not provide authority to remove or suspend any member of the election board by the CBC. On September 30, 2016, without a quorum of 5 CBC members, action was taken in a memo issued by Clyde Narcomi, Susan Cothran, and Johnny Colway to suspend the entire election board. The action to suspend the election board was taken under the authority of Resolution 3816, which was null and void prior to September 30, 2016. The tribal constitution is clear that no action shall be taken without a quorum of the CBC. And Susan submits memo dated September 30, 2016, which clearly shows only 3 CBC members in action to remove the election board. Resolution 3816 also shows that it was null and void as of April 2016 when they had a working CBC. And Resolution 5305 shows that the election board was impaneled by the tribal council. And then minutes of the CBC meeting April 22nd also shows that they did have an acting quorum, which null and voided Resolution 3816. Then, let's see. Number 4. The Comanche tribal land was sold. Comanche tribal land was sold without the knowledge and consent of the Comanche Tribal Council. The Comanche Tribal Constitution, under duties, responsibilities, and authority of the CBC, provides the CBC with authority to execute leases, contracts, and permits, but does not provide authority to sell property owned by the tribe. 320 acres known as the Dodd property was purchased on April 18, 2008 by the tribe for $780,000, but the original price of the property was $135,000. Then on June 10, 2016, under the hand of Susan Cothran, the land was sold and delivered without the knowledge and consent of the tribal council in the amount of $600,000. The land was sold at a loss of $180,000 to the Leto Land and Cattle Company. And Susan submits evidence or references. She has a statement from Dennis Womenvoy dated January 4, 2007, where, I don't think I have that one, where she's requesting copies of the contract regarding the sale of the Dodd property. Also, did you receive a commission from the sale of this property? That was directed to Dennis Womenvoy. Now she submits the property deed where it was sold, and the deed shows for the amount of $10. And that was through the state of Oklahoma, Comanche County. Then she's submitting a history, the history of the sales, which shows Comanche Nation sold it for $600,000. And then she has the Resolution 5616, which was, I guess, supposed to be on the May agenda, May 14, 2016 agenda. That is Resolution 5616. But according to the minutes of that meeting dated May 14, 2016, Resolution 5616 is nowhere on the agenda. So it was passed supposedly by a vote of 5-0, but it wasn't in the minutes. So it was never adopted, according to the minutes of May 14, 2016. Now we're on, which one? 5. We are on 5. The tribe has been pulled into a legal battle between the Bowen family and Jake Sharp over ownership of a smoke shop operation on individually owned land. William Nelson, Susan Cawthorn, Clyde Narcombe, Johnny Poe, and Eddie Odyssey have initiated this battle. They are allowing Richard Grellner to represent the Bone family, which very well constitutes a conflict of interest. Tax Commission Director, Acting Director, primary board member of the Tax Commission, and the entire staff were caught in the middle of this battle and have all since been wrongfully terminated. The BIA upheld that Jake Sharp held a legal binding agreement and ruled in his favor to allow continued operation. There is no good reason for the tribe to be involved and expend its resources in this matter. So says Susan Cawthorn. To add to this, I've submitted a letter to the BIA to request action in the matter of the Comanche Nation elections. Willie Nelson is illegally seated as chairman, and Eddie Odyssey and Johnny Poe are illegally seated as members of the CBC. The Comanche Nation has not yet completed the runoff election to legally fill vacant seats. All resolutions, including the resolution to repeal the LLC ordinance, were illegally passed by an illegally seated CBC. This illegal CBC has opened the tribe up to federal charges and future lawsuits. Willie Nelson, Eddie Odyssey, and Johnny Poe are only candidates in a runoff election that the Comanche Nation has yet to finish as ruled by the Tribal Election Board. The Tribal Council, the supreme governing body, impaneled the Tribal Election Board to conduct all elections of the tribe. Susan Cawthorn, Johnny Poe, Clyde Narcombe are conducting business without a legal quorum of 5 CBC members. They acted without a legal quorum to suspend the entire election board. The election board must be directed back to complete the runoff election and to legally fill the vacant seats. The Comanche Nation cannot continue to conduct illegal business with a bogus chairman and a bogus CBC without legal consequences. Illegal seated members of the Comanche Nation Business Committee will continue to have an overall adverse impact on all the affairs and the well-being of the Comanche Nation and its members. Your serious and immediate attention to this matter is requested. Respectfully, Eleanor McDaniel, carbon copy sent to the Secretary of Interior.
Sounds like a lot of innuendo. I suggest to you, ma'am, to take that to a court. That'll hear it. Anything else, Ms. Parker? No. Okay. All right. I've got Mr. Gabby Narcombe. Where are you at?
Maybe Gabby can get up.
He just stepped down for a
We
second.
should be able to.
No, Gabby.
Let's give him a couple of minutes. If you
In
look.
Ottawa County.
I need to see him walk out.
Mr. Atokney, we'll give you a good 5-minute brief, Chief, if you would like to. I know you came all the way from Dallas, Texas. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just soaking all that in. That was crazy. I couldn't imagine. Anyway, I've been asked to speak on behalf of outside members
You bet.
and other members on a situation that is about to be huge in our nation. Senator Paul Ryan last month put in legislation to take effect on January 20th that's going to abolish Indian health services. All it's waiting for is Trump's signature. So we are on the verge of losing our health care. I personally have been just diagnosed with a serious condition, required medications. I like my health care, and I have a feeling that in Dallas Health Services, Tribal Health Services, they're talking about they don't even know if they're going to be open in March because all funding is about to be taken away. I come to the board today to ask the committee and Mr. Atterbury to reach out to someone and see about getting a health care plan through a company that could cover all the tribal members. And those of us that can afford to pay for it will pay for it. I'm sure y'all have health care with the employees, but we're about to see things that we've never even begun to imagine before. And this is real. This isn't Chicken Little screaming, the sky's falling. This is reality. I personally was just diagnosed with narcolepsy. It's changed my life and how I function and work. My medicines cost $1,000 a month to keep me functioning. And I'm about to lose my health care through no fault of my own. I've met my obligations. The Indian Hospital will probably be closed March and April. That's just the reality. So I just wanted today, just a few minutes, just to come with real business, not innuendo, to implore the CBC that this is urgent and we're about to see a crisis that we can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Togney, I want to add to that. We had an attorney general here by the name of Pruitt. Now, why would Trump put him on the HHS directorship, which is a full reflection of Human Health Services, which is a reflection of IHS? It is very real. Susan is tasked, Dr. Chapabity is tasked, and we're going to call for a motion today for Mr. Odyssey to join Susan with our IHS needs. There's been a lot of talk, just a lot of talk from this office, but not now. Susan has been very proactive. Right now, we have the big IHS for the building over there on Northwest Expressway. It's huge. The only people that finance it is Lawton, Claremore, the small Cheyenne services, Anadarko, and Carnegie. But the people that have the lion's share of the money is our brothers the Chickasaws, our brothers the Cherokees, because they went to a 93-638 type of system where we're still IHS. The answer is very clear. We have to be proactive in everything we do. I would hate to see all of our tribes become in litigation for years to come with what the Red Army is going to bring to us. When I say Red Army, Republicans, anyway, it is what it is. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
But I was going to let you know, Mr. Tocany, the CBC is looking into other avenues.
Yes, we are.
We're visiting with some companies right now
Yes.
that may have an answer for what you're talking about.
I hope you do stay in communication with Ms. Cawthorn, because I tell you, Susan has been doing a lot of things out of pocket for the Indian Health Service. You know, she's got all these grandkids, and she gets mad at me because I always say, Susan, can you just go to this Indian Health Service thing?
I
And
told
she
him one more committee that he puts me on, and I'm going to wring his neck.
Anyway, very good, very good. Thank you, Mr. Tocny, and be safe getting home. All right, Mr. Narcomi.
Okay, I had a lot of items, but I won't cover all of them. Items I want to talk about was the status of Coffey's lawsuit at that tourist center where he took some merchandise and didn't pay for it, $35,000 or $50,000.
Mr. Grellner?
Yes, it's in process right now. It's been converted from money judgment to declaratory action for community reasons. But then we can take that declaratory action and deal with it after it's over. But it's in process. It's moving forward.
What is declaratory action?
To determine how much money was owed.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. Then, our agenda request for the proposed April council meeting, I'd like to be put on the agenda, or anybody on the agenda, or to limit the recall petitions. You know, that one person can do to prevent numerous recalls by one person.
Gabby, can I ask you a favor? You know, Article 10 is our Bill of Rights.
Yep.
And everybody's got a right to petition anything. I would like for you great proposal writers, Willie, Gene, and you, bring us something that has some teeth to it, that doesn't affect our Bill of Rights. You know, Gene, I know you guys can do it, because that's crazy. That's crazy when you got 1,000 people or 2,000 people vote Mr. Clyde Narcombe in. And then you got 130 miscounted people. One time they said there was 180 people there when my nieces counted 90 people there. You know, you can't be recalled by less than what you got voted in. So I would hope that you, with that question, sir, to lean on you, Comanche tribal members, Gene, Gabby, Willie, if y'all can bring something with some real teeth, man, that we could possibly look at and promulgate to an actual act or law, okay, on that one.
The Constitution says a committee can't limit, but it doesn't say the council.
That's right.
So,
There you go.
The council can do that council resolution.
Even if you want to do that, Gabby,
To limit numerous,
and bring it to our general council, I would surely entertain that. Yes, sir. Because it's not fair, once again, it's not even fair for the way the tribal administrator, next meeting, coming in February, I'm going to entertain that on this floor. It does say that the tribal council does hire a TA. Well, it's not everybody in that gym, it's the entire world. And we always knock that around. They always knock that around. But everybody that's 18 and over, 18 to 199, they're the ones that can vote. And they're the ones that should bring the TA in. It needs to go to referendum vote. Things like that, you know. Gabby, I would entertain that resolution on the recall thing on the general council floor. I really would.
I have a CBC request to the FBI to transfer Special Agent Jeff Youngblood to assist with our forensic audit and if we do an expansion of the forensic audit.
I'm actually going to answer every Gabby's question here. I've extended an invitation this week to Mr. Youngblood to be here this
That
week.
way we could send
Okay, so I answered 1, 2, 3. Okay, what else?
to his higher ups.
Oh, good grief. I don't know if we can do that one. I don't know if I can do that one.
Because he had got some charges for construction corruption. And some guy, he'll get 10 years, 12 years.
I did ask you that, Vern, didn't I? That if I could bring Mr. the Choctaw in? Yeah. Okay.
That way he can assist.
Yes, sir.
But we got a lot of construction corruption, sole source contracts.
We had.
We got a water park, that's a water well, that's a water hole. You know, it's not even a well. Okay. So it'd be on official request of the, CBC resolution.
Actually, he said he'd try, so you don't really need to bring it as a CBC resolution. We're going through everything next week, Gabby.
Okay, this. Also, in the future, to look at railroad taxes. I think a lot of tribes are doing it, but we can do it on a lot of lands where the railroads have the right of way. Well, we can tax them, and then I think utility taxes. You know, like I guess electric, whatever utility lines, and then I'm not sure about this one, but the oil and gas Red River. Oil and gas taxes, if there's any wells over there on our land on the Red River, South Bank, I guess that might be a KCA tax deal too, but we can apply ours.
On that question there, Mr. Wilmaboya, can you just go ahead and give Mr. Narcomi a brief answer on what we've been doing here recently? Brief, please.
Well, actually, we're looking into some of the lands down there that's been unclaimed, some of the lands that's in the Red River Basin that we want to pursue making claim to, and then we'll look into the mineral leases that's there. But right now, we're doing the research to see how we go about doing gaining ownership or claiming that right. So we are looking into it, Gabby.
Gabby, this right here was put together by Mr. Stephen Lee. This is our entire sovereignty right here. This is so important. Stephen was gonna present a PowerPoint to us, and I think we're just gonna go ahead and let him do it live on our website, because it's so important. Gabby?
That's who we own, the
This
South Bank
is,
of the Red
this
River.
is our Bible of all our lands. Now, there's one thing a lot of Comanches need to understand, even abroad. If you sold your land, maybe the 40s, the 30s, grandpa's having a hard time, sold his land to a non-Indian or sold it to an alien. You know, we as a treaty tribe, we're a treaty tribe. Okay, we are a treaty tribe. Not like the ones that got removed from their homelands and put here. They're a removed tribe. We are a treaty tribe. And by the Dawes Act, we were all given 160 acres. Okay? Our heirs. Did you know, even though it was sold all those times, who owns those minerals to this day? We do. The patents of every one of these lands, we are researching. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but great work has been done. It's been held back, ignored for so long. And this business committee understands that great value. So we're on it, Gabby.
The railroad.
Even the railroads.
Taxes,
Even
on
railroads.
allotted lands, the railroads have a right of way so long as it's used for railroad.
Right. All this railroad they just pulled up right here, we should go ahead and do a reclamation act.
Then after
Yes.
then it's called a remainder interest, and after it's no longer used as a railroad, then it reverts back to the true owner.
Right.
And so it is trust land, and the tribe has jurisdiction on that railroads, and we can tax it.
Yep.
And
And
I
by the
don't know
way,
how
if
much
anybody
money
wants to
we've
look
lost.
at the original allotment or anything, it's no big deal. Just shows all the lands, every quarter section.
Okay, then the status of the Potawatomi loans, I think it's 10 million for the hotel, and I think 3 million for the truck plaza. Maybe that was, I'm not sure about that one. But there's never been a profit and loss of the hotel or the truck plaza presented by nobody. Well, I think there was a section about the truck plaza gaming, but that's about all I've seen in the report.
Well, the loan has not missed a payment on the hotel. As far as the value, it's hard to ascertain if we hold so many people on our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. How much coin in do they put in the machines for staying there? You are a shareholder. Hati, you're a shareholder.
I think we have 3 years
We-
left on that loan.
Everybody's a shareholder here. So we are working on the shareholders report that we all promised to give you. So all these questions you got should be on there.
Yeah, how much do we owe?
I think we got 2 years left, right?
I think closer to 3.
3 years. 3 years. Don't ask me the payment. Hey, even if I know, I wouldn't tell you. No, geez.
Okay, well, I have to prepare for this one. It's a land purchase procedures. I brought this up, I don't remember when, 5, 7 years ago, CBC meeting. I had a list of land purchase procedures, and in there I had that. And then another time, I think the CBC wanted to have a business plan for each land purchase. Never done. But anyway, I had recommendations like you do a soil test, independent appraisals, if it's gonna be non-trust, the day after we buy it, to start application to put it in trust. I think that was the trouble, that we don't have a lot of our land in trust because the trust application was never done or completed.
Well, Gabby,
Like it should have been.
can I cut you off on that one? When we voted for land acquisition over here in our general council on the floor, it was to buy trust land only.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
well, I'll be.
So all the illegalities of buying that
Then our
title land is just
Program's
not-
been a big
There
joke
you go.
all this time.
Sure. We're
Golly.
correcting that, sir.
Man, we're a stupid something,
Mr. Grilder, I got a question.
stupid.
On this tax, is that tax is asking about on the railroad and electricity? What kind of money will that resolve into? Or will there be big money in it? Or is it worth pursuing?
It's potential, yes.
It will be?
Yes.
Rick, could you go ahead and give us a great update on, if we, just go right ahead, Rick. Because Rick's been very instrumental in this task. this great task. Rick, just please give us an update on what that lawsuit was. And I'm just going to throw this out there. Understand this. The Red River has moved so far north. We actually got allotments in Texas. What does that tell you? Okay. Rick, please just give us a good briefing, will you?
Are you talking about the Roma?
Yes. No, that and BLM. What's BLM doing down there?
Okay. If y'all may well know, there's two issues going on that's been going on the Red River for some time. Number one, where does the Texas line end and Oklahoma begin? And number two, the fact that the Comanche tribe owns the property in the middle of the Red River. Well, BLM, about a year ago, decided that west of the 98th parallel, they needed to determine that, so they went down and started doing surveys. It comes to find out that the survey actually ends up almost 1.5 miles south of the south bank of the current Red River. It's a big deal because everything west of that that's in the riverbank halfway, obviously the case tribes have an interest in. And since the United States is the guarantor, and it goes all the way back to the Spanish cession, and there's a lot of history involved, but to boil it all down to everything, the rights have yet to be determined, but we know exactly where they are, but we know the rights are there and they exist. So how that all plays in is you have several issues. You've got your oil and gas issues, which there's been a lot of oil and gas production down there. How much of that you think is coming to the Comanche Nation or KCA? But the other issue, and it's also a big issue, is water rights. As you all may have watched and seen, and this is something we've been intricately involved in, is that there's been a settlement for water in southeast Oklahoma, okay? That settlement has basically determined how future water is going to be used in Oklahoma so that the Oklahoma City can get that water. Well, basically, it's a zero-sum game. If Oklahoma doesn't get that water, Oklahoma doesn't grow. But there's a lot of folks that want to sell that water, the excess water going over the Hugo Dam into the Red River, going down to Texarkana and on to the Gulf of Mexico to Texas. And now you're hearing Farm Bureau-sponsored ads that basically say it's $5 billion a year to the state of Oklahoma. Well, tucked deep in that settlement was a 75-25 split for the state and those tribes down there for the water in Sardis Lake, okay? That's a recognition that any of the excess water in southeast Oklahoma, those tribes want 25% of. How does that affect us? Well, it's a big deal for us because all that water was going into the Red River, which we own a part of. And because there's 4 states that are involved in the Red River Compact, which Texas took to the Supreme Court to try to be able to say they could come into Oklahoma and get their water, and lost in a unanimous decision 8-0. Well, we have an interest in that water that's floating down the Red River, obviously, because it comes through west of the 98th parallel, right? We may not have as much water, but our water should be valued pro rata, just like theirs. So if you're talking $5 billion a year that they want to buy water, we should get our share, okay?
25%.
They get well, the argument now is the state could get $5 billion, they'd get 25%.
Right.
Okay, if we only had 5 or 10% of the water in the Red River, it's still an infinite amount of money, okay, for the tribes in western Oklahoma. So what happened in the last Congress is, and Stephen's not here to verify, but he was very instrumental, and the KCA actually was involved in this, is there was an effort to allow that BLM land that they were down there surveying, because remember, when BLM went down on our behalf to do the surveys, they freaked everybody out.
BLM is Bureau of Land Management, and they're down there surveying for our behalf.
They have jurisdiction over minerals, okay, oil and gas. So they were down there surveying, freaked everybody out, so the congressman in Texas said, we have to sell this property to eliminate this issue. Well, it ended up coming back, now they're just going to do a survey. But they wanted that included in the water sale so that they could then get their agreement to sell water to Texas. The state of Oklahoma, under the current law that was just passed a month ago, has to approve it, okay? But that could all change if the feds do what's called federal preemption and say, okay, tribes, you can sell your 25%, the state can decide whether to sell their 75%. That's very important to us. It's hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and we have to be involved in that fight.
We have to be involved with this, and thank you, Rick, on that and what you're talking about on railroad and taxes. There's so many things that, you can say you know it all, but we've been talking about, it's a lawyer's game right now. But if we are not proactive in it, and our cousins up north are not proactive in it, we're going to go at it alone because we're Comanches. That's what we do. Gabby?
Enrollment audit, I was just wondering how, well, that it should be done, and I don't know when it will be done, but, well, I don't know, there's a lot of factors with it, the funding, the cost, comprehensive. It's already been passed. Last year it was approved. And there's probably a lot of, illegal enrollments on there.
Gabby, our next step on that, we're gonna let the general counsel decide what to do on that.
Yeah.
The general counsel wants inventory on all our illegal enrollees. It's gonna be up to them to decide.
Okay, yeah.
It's a big number, Gabby, cost-wise. We got to ask our
Very
folks.
costly.
Well, we were fortunate to have that pass, enrollment audit when coffee was in there. I didn't know how that one got done. It was finished in December '07, and that went back to '98, I believe. It didn't go back to when he was in office before.
Right.
But I'm sure there's a lot of mistakes in there, or not mistakes, but intentional mistakes.
Mr. Narcomi, you're always welcome to bring so much information. You have been an informative Comanche for me. You've inspired me. You've inspired others. You get on some people's nerves, but I'll tell you, Gabby, keep doing what you're doing. I want to make this roll call again. Kobe Lewis. No Kobe Lewis. Jerry Mullen. Dennis Wamavoya. Thomas, Narcomi, and Jean. Mr. Tishikai. Okay. Hati, are you on this? No. Okay. Dang, it's going to be at the very end, if you don't mind. Is it okay? Okay. Everybody, we're concluded our meeting. Although, do you guys want to go over the appointments? That needs to go over there to, not yet?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right, moving right along. Business Committee, once again, we have finished a Business Committee meeting. I do call for a motion for us to end our regular session here and go to our executive session.
I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second.
1 and 2. Business Committee, I ask for approval on that. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Meeting is over, but hey, we're going to take us a break, and then we're going to go to executive session. I appreciate you guys coming out in this cold weather. Really do. It's great. Thank you.